My New Year's resolution is to stop dating. I'm done. I've tried for the past 2 years.
The older I get, the harder it's becoming today.
So you're single in your 40s and you want to know if there's hope in finding a partner or true love.
Dating just should not be this damn fucking difficult. It just shouldn't. I don't understand why.
Too many women are dating at 35, but the reality for them is they can't find a man they want.
Why is it that every man, 30 and above, mid-30s, whatever, who's out there in the dating world is deceitful?
3 reasons why dating is hard in your 30s, part 5.
Unless you're a size 6 gym baddie. Dating here honestly feels impossible unless you meet that.
This is just what happens when you play the field. You find yourself struggling to find romance. Kindly subscribe to the channel as it further supports us in our work. Thank you.
What we're not going to do is cry over a medium ugly man who fumbled you when your face card would have rebranded his entire bloodline, okay?
I don't chase men. I will not chase you, but I will, however, sit around and like daydream and like conjure up little situations and conversations in my head where I wish that we would have, and then like look at your Instagram story 100 times and be like, who's that? Who's that in the background? But I won't chase. Not gonna.
Let's talk about double standards. I came across this ridiculous post that talked about how women who sleep around lose their value, which I 100% agree with. The second part of the post talked about how men can get a woman, a 25-year-old woman when they're 60. What? Like, where do you get this information? If you sleep around, like, for a man with high mileage, no woman wants that either, unless you bring something to the table, like career, money. No 25-year-old wants a 60-year-old man. Come on.
Well, there are always exceptions. And yes, women who sleep around lose their value, and men don't. And it's not really a double standard at all. It's just how biology and society work. If a 60-year-old man has worked on himself, built wealth and maintained his status, he can attract a 25-year-old woman. But in most cases, she's there for the money, and he's there for the pleasure. This isn't unfair. It's simply how the value exchange operates between men and women. Men are measured by their ability to provide, protect, and build, which takes time. Women, on the other hand, are valued for their youth, beauty, and fertility, which decline with age. That's why an older man with success and resources still has options, while an older woman who has spent years prioritizing independence over relationships often finds herself struggling to secure a long-term partner. Women may call it unfair, but the reality is that men don't create these rules. Biology does.
My New Year's resolution is to stop dating. I'm done. I've tried for the past 2 years to date and connect with other people, and it has been a battlefield out here, okay? Like, whether I'm hurting someone, someone's hurting me, it hasn't led to good feeling. Of course, like everybody else, I want to be connected and I want to fall in love, but that's not happening for me, and I'm tired. Like, even though I want those things, I would be okay being alone for the rest of my life. I know that sounds crazy, but I would. Like, I think I'm just gonna fold into that era because there's too much emotion that comes along with these relationships, and I'm not built for it, guys.
What I noticed lately is that a lot of men rather stay single because they're tired of giving their everything and ending up with nothing. Do you guys agree with that?
Yes. Being single gives you peace of mind. Nope. We go to Asia and get everything for just love and care. After 35 years and 2 cheaters, single is so much more desirable. It's better to stay single, less stress, and more money in your pocket.
I'm all about preaching about being independent, independent in your 30s, not to be ashamed of it. It's great to be independent. I'm glad I'm able to do everything myself. I could do whatever I want, whenever I want. All of that is great, right? But I was getting my nails done today. Every single seat that was filled. And I'm not kidding you. Everyone was probably younger than me, definitely younger than me. And they all had a huge ass engagement ring and or wedding band on their finger. And I was just like, maybe there is something wrong with me, because like I was literally the only one that did not have a huge ass ring. Like, damn. There are some moments where it just gets me, and that was one of them.
Seems like she still can't see the issue. The reason why those other girls got a ring, madam, was because they weren't preaching about being independent, a boss babe, or doing whatever they wanted with no regard for what men actually want in a wife. Those women prioritized being feminine, cooperative, and relationship-oriented, not chasing careers while expecting men to line up to marry them anyway. She says, sometimes it gets to you. Of course it does, because deep down, she knows the truth. She's watching other women walk down the aisle while she stays single, wondering why her independence isn't attracting commitment. The reality is, men don't value the same things women do. A woman's degree, career, or financial independence won't make a man more attracted to her. It just makes her more independent from him.
The biggest issue for dating in your 30s is that my mind, for the first time ever, knows what I'm looking for in a partner, in a relationship, okay? Like, I know what a red flag is. For the first time ever, my brain has standards. It's crazy. My body, on the other hand, has reached her sexual peak. She's raring to go at all times. She can't be satiated, okay? She has no standards, all right? She's open to anyone, anytime, anywhere. Oh, what's that? A mannequin? Does he have 10 fingers? We'll make it work, okay?
You need help.
It feels like more than ever that the dating culture has become really all about hooking up. And there's a lot of deception, a lot of lies. And I just got back off apps. I just couldn't take it. Couldn't take all the manipulation, exploitation. And I've been trying to think of a way to describe it to those who it doesn't happen to, maybe to those who are doing it, are guilty of doing it, so they could understand what it feels like.
This might be a hot take, but all of the hot, successful, really driven women are in their single girl era right now. And I think that's because it's almost impossible to find a man who matches your energy, let alone bring something to the table that you don't have. And we are all looking for partners that add something to our lives. And we can't find someone who is better than us. I'm not even trying to sound conceited. There are so many hot, successful ladies right now. We are going off. And the men just can't keep up. So, am I going insane or is this true? Let me know what you think.
The kind of men these so-called hot women are looking for doesn't exist. They claim men can't keep up, aren't doing enough, can't match their energy. But what kind of man are they even looking for? If so many of these women are struggling to find men, it says more about their insane standards than it does about the supposed lack of good men. They aren't just looking for a good man, they're looking for a fantasy, a perfect, custom-built dream guy who doesn't actually exist. They want a man who makes 6 figures but still has time to take them on spontaneous vacations. A man who is dominant and confident but will bow to their every demand. These are the same women who say the bare minimum isn't enough. But the irony is, they don't even know what the bare minimum actually is. They scream about how men need to do more, be better, step up. But when you ask them to define the bare minimum, their answers are all over the place.
I'm 30 and very single, right? And recently I was having a bit of a whinge to my psychiatrist about it, and they go, you need to go for the person who thinks that they don't have a chance with you. And I stopped and I said, respectfully, they probably don't have a chance with me.
Stop!
And that sounds boring. Absolutely boring. Who wants consistency, all right? Who wants that? And my psychiatrist said, you actually want and need that. And I said, boring. Thanks for that advice. Here's $250. I'm just going to repeat my same patterns and behaviours.
Single men do everything for themselves, but you never hear a man calling himself an independent man. True. It's just being an adult.
Where are all the men that are 45 plus that go to the gym but have a dad bod? I love a dad bod. And they must have grey hair.
In your dreams, ma'am.
Where are they?
You know what's worse? The fact that somebody I thought cared about me could treat me like literal dumpster trash. Or the reality that it means they probably don't and never cared about me at all.
Happy Old Maid's Day to every childless, not married lady out there, happy non-childbearing hip day to us heavenly free hags that know that our worth isn't dependent upon procreation or the institution of marriage, no matter what social or cultural norms or the patriarchy may dictate. But we've done it. We've got ourselves our day. Hooray! Despite never being chosen so far by somebody. There's always tomorrow, but today is our day. The word spinster is wild.
Yeah, right. Every single woman who has to come on camera to tell others about how happy they are living child-free, claiming their worth isn't in procreation, is simply coping. If they were truly content, they wouldn't feel the need to broadcast it, trying to convince others, and more importantly, themselves, that they aren't missing out. Happiness is lived, not performed for an audience. They say their worth isn't in procreation, but nature disagrees. Biologically, a woman's body is designed to nurture and give life, whether she likes it or not. That's why, as time passes, many of these same women start speaking about loneliness, about how holidays feel empty, about how they wish they had someone to share life with in a meaningful way. The reality is, deep down, many of them feel the emptiness creeping in. They see other women experiencing the deep love and purpose that comes with raising a family, while they cling to fleeting pleasures, brunches, vacations, and momentary independence.
I was talking to this guy that I have a crush on, and I pointed out, like, all of his exes kind of have, like, a similar look. Like, they all have brown hair, brown eyes, like, kind of similar to me, like, very average looks, very plain Jane. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'll take a plain Jane, like, every time. Yeah, that's true. And I'm like, oh, why? And he responds without a hint of irony and immediately, because they've already been humbled. He carries on. Pretty girls feel like they deserve stuff just because they're pretty, but plain Jane girls, they don't act like that. And chat, now I don't care what you have to say. No one's ever going to convince me that romance is dead after that.
Okay, but genuine question. Is there something in the air in Australia? Because why are the men not menning? Like, how do I explain this? The roles are reversed here lately. I travel a lot, whether it's interstate or overseas. There's a dramatic difference of how men talk and carry themselves in different countries and Australia. I don't care if you're from Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide, Queensland, wherever the hell you're from. Men in Australia want to be chased. Men in Australia are the ones that play hard to get. They don't choose the restaurants to go to. They take longer to get ready than the females. They don't spoil women. Random people in America, for example, have given me roses on the street. Like, oh, you're so beautiful, shawty. Here's a rose. I'm like, oh my God. Like, high-value women that work, look after themselves and spoil themselves don't ask for much when it comes to a high-value man. We just want constant time, affection, love. It's not that hard to send a text message saying, be ready by 6. I booked a restaurant. I want to see you. Can't wait. There has to be something in the air because they're sounding a bit feminine here these days. Like, where are the men?
This woman is asking, where are the men? Because random men aren't giving her flowers, chasing her, or showering her with attention. Basically, she isn't getting the same validation and pedestal treatment she's used to in America, and now she's confused. The reason? Australian men expect to be treated fairly. They're not going to simp for a woman just because she exists. There's nothing inherently wrong with what she's saying, but expecting men to automatically pursue, spoil, and validate her without her putting in any effort is entitlement, not romantic disappointment. What she's really upset about is that she has to compete now. She has to actually bring value beyond just being there. She's realizing that in some places, men aren't desperate, and they're not falling all over themselves just to boost a woman's ego for free. This is the hard truth many modern women are waking up to. Men don't owe them attention.
I have no problem showing interest in a man, but I'm not going to chase you. Once I feel like I'm doing too much on my end, I'm going to fall back. And it's not me being petty or childish or trying to play games, but it's not a good feeling when you feel like You're always in constant pursuit of that person. You're always the person calling. You're always the person reaching out. You plan all the dates. You're constantly vocalizing you want to see them, etc. Like, the chase needs to be mutual. It shouldn't be one-sided. And I know we're in this era or culture where, like, men want to be chased and they feel like they're the prize, blah, blah, blah. But, like, that's never been me. I've never been that girl. Once I get a feel that you want me to chase you, I'm not going to do it. And I don't know if there's other girls out here chasing men and now they think that, like, that's the requirement or every girl is going to do that. But baby, I'm not chasing no man. I'm actually not chasing anything. I'm not chasing no man, no job, no money. If it's supposed to be for me, it's going to be for me. I don't have to chase it. I don't have to beg. I don't have to do any of that for me to have it.
So I used to work with all men, and people would always be like, oh, you must get hit on all the time if you work with all men. But what I had to explain was that actually in settings where it's like 70% men, 30% women, the women get hit on all the time. But in this case, I was literally the only woman on a 20-person team. And in those cases, the men just act like there are no women there and they ignore you. At least that's what I told myself.
So I just watched a video where a girl was saying that, oh, the good guys, they're just so boring. Like, I want a good guy, but they're always so boring. Honey, if you are thinking that good guys are boring, then you best prepare for a ton of bad guys coming your way, because you ain't ready for a good guy. Good guys are not boring. It is not boring to feel secure in your relationship and have your partner text you back and not play games with you. It's not boring to have someone who wants to take care of you, that loves you for who you are and accepts you for who you are, so that you have the freedom to express yourself in life. It's not boring to be in a place where you're genuinely happy, that you can move forward in your life, so you stop obsessing over relationships and obsessing over whether someone loves you or not. Because the person that's the good guy that you're with, that guy never makes you feel like you're not loved. That guy makes you feel like you're loved all the time, and you do not have to question whether you are loved or not. Good guys, we need to stop perceiving them as boring. They are not boring. They are freaking holy. I love my good guy. Thank baby Jesus for my good guy.
The only types of women who find good men boring are toxic women. Have you ever noticed that these same women constantly ask for good men, but when given the opportunity, they won't date them? They walk past good men every single day, ignore their messages, and friend zone them while chasing after the same toxic men who treat them badly. This happens because these women are simply drawn to toxicity. It excites them. Chaos to them is what food is to the starving. They crave it, they need it, and they can't function without it. It fuels them, gives them a sense of excitement, and makes them feel alive. They don't know how to exist in a stable, peaceful relationship because peace feels unnatural to them. A man who treats them well, communicates honestly, and provides consistency? That's too easy. They need the drama, the mind games, the uncertainty, because without it, they get bored. Good men aren't boring. These women are just addicted to dysfunction.